Okay, so in today's video, I want to do a very quick comparison of the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, the all-new Galaxy Tab S7 FE that I have here, to the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite that I have here. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, then you probably know that the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite here is one of my all-time favorite tablets. Not because it's the most amazing tablet or because it's loaded with the top specs, but just because it's kind of like the perfect balance, you know, just it's right in the middle there. It has that perfect ratio of, you know, price versus specs, or price to performance ratio. You know what, I digress here. Let's go ahead and jump into this comparison. And I want to start off with the new one, the Galaxy Tab S7 FE that we have here. It's very familiar. It has that familiar look because it gets that look from the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, right? So it is a 12.4 inches TFT display, so essentially the same size display as the Tab S7 Plus, and this is one of the biggest appeals of this tablet, right? Especially for artists, right? So people who like to draw, they're looking for, you know, that more of that screen real estate. This tablet is really appealing to them, although the price is not really there for a lot of people. But that's one of the best things about this tablet, that screen size. As I mentioned, it's a TFT display. Is the resolution here is 1600 by 2560. As far as the way it looks really nice when you have that alone, you know, standalone, you know, not comparing it to like a S7 or S7 Plus. You know, you can enjoy movies on here, very nice vibrant colors when you're watching videos or movies. In terms of physical features, you have kind of the same, you know, the usual suspects, right? So you have the power button, volume rocker, you have the pins to go ahead and snap that into the keyboard, either the official keyboard or the Tab S7 Plus keyboard, because it actually is also compatible with that keyboard. You have a micro SD card slot and you have a USB Type-C port that is actually upgraded, right? So this one can push video signal, so you can actually connect this to an external monitor and kind of use this either as a main monitor or as a, you know, as kind of a secondary monitor, and be able to toggle back and forth in between multiple monitors. Now, the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, on the other hand, that one was released last year. For those of you who don't know, the screen on here is 10.4 inches. That's the screen size. That also is a TFT display, and the resolution on there is 1200 by 2000. It also looks nice for just movies and videos and gaming, all that good stuff. It looks pretty nice also. When comparing these two, just looking at the displays here, you would see that the large one is just a little bit brighter, and of course the resolution is higher on there also. The experience is slightly better on that larger one, so on the FE one, simply because it's a larger screen, you know, so things are larger on there. But it doesn't change the fact that they're both TFT displays, right? So not necessarily top level or top tier screen when it comes to these two tablets. And oh, by the way, if this is your first time visiting, well, welcome. Of course, I'm certainly hoping that you do enjoy the content so far. If you are enjoying the content so far, I truly appreciate that. Please do me a huge favor and hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel, and again, I truly appreciate that. All right, so the Tab S6 Lite is also going to have many of the same physical features you have on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. So, you know, power button, volume rockers. You won't have the pins for the keyboard because the Tab S6 Lite does not have an official keyboard. Now, you can connect, you know, some wireless or Bluetooth keyboards to that wireless mouse, and you'll be able to use that also kind of as a mini laptop, and it will work just fine. But then again, it does not have an official Samsung keyboard for it. You also have a USB Type-C port here, but this one does not push out video signal, meaning with the Tab S6 Lite, you will not be able to use that as a, you know, primary monitor that actually pushes video signal to another one where you can actually toggle back and forth. Let's say in the case of like Samsung DeX, for example, you won't be able to have like one screen here showing one thing and another screen, you know, connected to the Tab S6 Lite showing something else. Each tablet comes with a Samsung S Pen, and that is just the standard Samsung S Pen. Not the Galaxy Tab S7 FE may look like the Tab S7 Plus, but it does not come with a type of S Pen features that you would have on the S7 Plus. So it's pretty much the same standard, you know, features on either the Tab S6 Lite or the FE. You would have access to pretty much all of the basic stuff. Feedback in terms of like taking down notes is essentially the same. Great feedback, very nice tablets for drawing, both of them. But again, here for people who are looking for more screen real estate, they might go for the Tab S7 FE simply because it's larger, right? So even though you have a fairly similar experience when it comes down to just taking down notes, you know, the same feedback when writing, when taking down notes, or the same feedback when drawing, you know, people who typically like like to draw would normally, would usually go for a larger amount of space offered by the tablet. So the Tab S7 FE is something that most artists would likely go for. Another physical feature worth highlighting here is just the dual speaker setup that you have on either one of those tablets. They're both tuned by AKG, but the difference here is that the ones on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE are slightly louder than what you have on the S6 Lite here. Great speakers when it comes down to just sound quality, very crisp. Tuned by AKG, I'm pretty sure I said that already. Great sound quality, but the Tab S7 FE is definitely louder. Now, some additional specs that you would have here. The Galaxy Tab S6 Lite starts off with 64 gigs of internal storage, and that would be with 4 gigs of RAM. And if you were to go for the 128 gigs of internal storage, that would still stick at 4 gigs of RAM. The Galaxy Tab S7 FE will also start off with 64 gigs of internal storage, and that will start off with 4 gigs of RAM. And then if you were to go to the 128 gigs of internal storage, that would be 6 gigs of RAM, and if you push forward to 256, that will afford you 8 gigs of RAM. So you have 3 tiers with the Galaxy Tab S7 FE versus 2 tiers with the S6 Lite. The chipset on that Tab S6 Lite is going to be the Exynos 9611, and it started off with Android 10. In my particular case, I went ahead and upgraded to Android 11, and I believe it's still eligible for Android 12, for that 3 years support that Samsung offers. So on mine, currently I have Android 11, and I have One UI 3.1, which obviously enable the support for Samsung DeX. With the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, you will have a Snapdragon 750G if you were to go for the 5G variant like the one that I have. Now, if you go for the Wi-Fi variant, that will afford you the Snapdragon 778. And you will also have Android 11 running on the Tab S7 FE here out of the box, along with One UI 3.1. And it will also support Samsung DeX. And here's the difference. Samsung DeX on the S7 FE is actually better than what you have on the Tab S6 Lite. Actually, not necessarily better. It's a little bit more versatile. If you remember earlier, I said that the USB Type-C that you have on the FE can actually push out video signals. So that's one way of using Samsung DeX. You also can use Samsung DeX by using the keyboard, the official keyboard that you can buy separately for the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. You also do have access to wireless DeX, which is not available on the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. So those are some pretty neat features to have on the Samsung tablet. Now, when it comes down to performance, and since day one, it's supposed to be a mid-range tablet, so don't expect this to be a high productivity tablet, right? It has decent performance based on those decent specs that I just mentioned there. Those are mid-range specs, well, at least for that time, and there still are mid-range specs today versus what we have with the FE here, which are kind of high-end of that mid-range category with that Snapdragon 750G or the Snapdragon 778, right? So when it comes down to performance, day-to-day tasks, they're going to be generally the same, right? You should be able to navigate, check your email, navigate the internet, check your emails, doing your regular day-to-day type of thing with no issues with either one of those two tablets. You can do moderate level task, also moderate gaming, light gaming with no issues. Now, when it comes to heavier tasks, heavier gaming, the Tab S7 Tab S7 FE is definitely better than what you would get from the S6 Lite, which is fine, right? The FE is supposed to be kind of a higher level of a mid-range. So the Tab S6 Lite would do well with light, moderate, and some heavy tasks with no problem, but there are many heavy tasks that it will struggle a little bit with, that the Galaxy Tab S7 FE will be able to kind of power through, despite being still a mid-range tablet. So in terms of performance, you definitely have an edge on the 7 FE there, no question about that. Every now and then with my Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, there are definitely things that when I open, I would definitely encounter lags, whereas the Galaxy Tab S7 FE would just power through those things without necessarily, even if it lags, it won't lag as much as what the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite would. Now again, neither one of these tablets is made for productivity, but I can definitely tell you that the Galaxy Tab S7 FE will definitely do better in terms of performance and productivity stuff when compared to the Tab S6 Lite. Now when it comes down to camera, both tablets are pretty much sharing the same camera. You have an 8 megapixel camera on either one of these two, and that'll be the main camera. Picture quality, I'll say, is about the same. The front cameras are 5 megapixel, same camera on either one of those tablets. And again, experience also is slightly different on the FE simply because it's a larger tablet. So if you are like on a conference call, people, you see a larger image, right? So you might experience something slightly different than what you have on a slightly smaller, well, actually a smaller Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. But in general, you know, picture quality, video quality, I think, you know, in my personal opinion, is pretty much the same. As far as battery goes, the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite is pushing a 7040 milliamp battery there. So it's a smaller battery, but the tablet itself is smaller, and of course it has a different processor there. On the FE, you have a 10,090 milliamp battery, and that is a larger tablet, you know, so you of course would need a larger battery. Now, battery life, I would say since the upgrade to Android 11 and, you know, adding Samsung DeX and all that stuff, battery life has kind of gone down with my Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. So on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, I see pretty good battery so far. Lower than what I would get with the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, which has the same battery size as the FE, but still better battery on the FE than what you would have on the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. Now, there are a number of other differences that we can highlight between these two tablets, but I'm going to stop here. Again, I'm not saying that what I've done here is kind of a full, you know, comprehensive video of differences, you know, highlighting all of the differences between these two tablets. But in my opinion, I just went ahead and highlighted the ones that I think are important. And with all of that, here's my take. Now, these two tablets are supposed to be mid-range, but if you were to ask me which tablet would you advise someone to buy, now you have to keep in mind this channel here, it always leans towards, you know, recommending people go for things that would offer more value. So when it comes down to value itself, the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite offers the best value, you know, when compared to the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. When it comes down to, you know, performance specs, just tablet itself without talking price, the Tab S7 FE is a better tablet. No question about it. When it comes down to the chipset, the type of performance, the type of, you know, display, the resolution and all that stuff, it's just a better tablet overall. But the price makes it so that if you're looking for something of value where you could get the best bang out of your buck, that's just not it. The S6 Lite is that tablet. That is also the reason why the S6 Lite keeps going back to the regular price. It's so popular because it truly offers pretty much almost the same experience you would get with like tablets that are higher end when it comes down to just using like a stylus. I don't necessarily mean in terms of performance, right? But as I said at the beginning of the video, the S6 Lite is the best when it comes down to just the ratio, right? The best price to specs ratio, or if you want to do price to performance ratio, the S6 Lite is that perfect middle point. Now, I'm not saying that I would never advise anyone to buy the S7 FE, but at this price, it's still way too high. If Samsung could bring down the price to like the fours, like 400 or 450, maybe then, you know, I can start recommending that to people. But as of now, if you're in the market for either one of these and your concern is money and trying to get the best value, the S6 Lite is the one to go. But that's just my take. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. The S7 FE is a great tablet. It's just priced wrong. The S6 Lite overall as a package is a better package than what you get from the S7 FE. If you want to spend the type of money you spend on the S7 FE, then might as well just pick up a Galaxy Tab S7. But that's just my take. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in that comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And up until then, of course, as always, stay safe out there.